Hello everyone, this is Cookies. I've got turn 43, and let's go ahead and hop into this message from Agartha. My loss this turn was both stupid and very costly in magical items. I should have anticipated Jotunheim would try to relieve his army in Nabaa, and regardless, it wasn't worth the risk to kill a raiding party. However, I'm going south, or him going south is about the best case scenario for me. Gateway becomes available to me next round, regardless of if he storms or passes by that fort next round. He is going to get a surprise army gatewayed in from my capital. It should have a lot more mages with it than I will have because of the... It should have had a lot more mages with it than I will have because of the stupidity last turn, though. This turn is also the outbreak of direct war with Pythium. I'll be honest, between some of these bumps and whatnot, it kind of seemed like it was already going, but sure. I will be advancing in two directions with my main army south towards the throne and a much weaker army northwest towards his capital. That's mostly a raiding counter-invasion force to keep him away from my own lands. I hope that the troll mercenary I just recruited there will be very helpful. He came in with a skull staff, which means terror is on the table. My strategy is both to advance immediately to kill as many troops as possible before Soulslay does major damage and try to force a rout. I'm summoning my first golems this turn, so no astral support on the battlefield yet. But I've made sure all armies have an astral mage this turn to punish any mind hunts. I greatly hope he mind hunts this turn and doesn't wait until next, because next turn I will be vulnerable. Alright. And Pythium looks to be largely on the defensive here. We only see 4 attacks from Pythium. So let's go ahead and see their offensive actions. We got a raid in Uffenred. He has 1 PD. A raid in Blightlands. This is a fair amount of PD. But Emerald Guard are super tanky. A couple of the troops started to run past, but they didn't end up doing it. Okay. Let's see. So we've got that, or no, that was here. And then the other two from Pythium is Eternal Hills. Just killing 1 PD. And then the Fortress of Glen of Iron. So he's storming here. Now there's a fair amount of stuff inside, but not a ton of mage support, it looks like. We got an Uba back here. Ooh, we do have the Kitsune with Simulacrum. So a little bit of Astral and Glamour. We do have a Bakemonosaur here as well. Another one up here. And another Uba. I'm not sure if it's going to be as effective as just the Soulslay spam from Pythium. And then we have a large body of Serpent Cataphracts, and the reason why they're kind of offset is he's going to paint body Ethereal on them and hope they go through the walls on the flank. Oh, he's putting a lot of body Ethereal out. So Light of the Northern Star goes up. We got some Poison Ward, Storm goes up, Twilight goes up from the Kitsune. Breath of the Dragon, I believe, can work because these Serpent Cataphracts have pretty high poison res, but the Knights do not. Oh, Poison Ward gives +10 though, so he did point buff that. So the Breath of the Dragon is intentional, despite potentially a little bit of friendly fire with it. We do get Nightfall as well from the Kitsune. So you get a darkness penalty. It's kind of like a budget darkness. It's really good for Shinyama because the goblins have dark vision and these humans do not. But Emerald Guard are so freaking good at their jobs. They're still pretty effective even in the dark. And despite having Body Ethereal, it looks like a lot of the Serpent Counterfacts still went to the main gate. But they are clearing out the wall archers. Oh, we do have a Shootin' Doji thug here. I can probably pull up the gear. This guy does not have twice spawn. This guy does, though. Looks like he might have gotten Soul Slide. Alright, so let's see the commander tally. This guy did indeed get Soul Slide. This guy also got Soul Slide. So no Twice-Born White Mage. Even the Shootin' Doji got Soul Slide. A lot of powerful Soul Slides coming out. Really quick, though. No, wait. It was the... Is that Storming of Glen of Iron? So this is the gems and whatnot before the major battle. I'm kind of curious what the Kitsune casts after Nightfall. Spell Ward, Twilight, Nightfall, Illusory Army. And Astral Shield. Okay. The other thing we need to check is if the Kitsune got Soul Slide. Or if it just routed. It looks like it routed. Where is it? Here. Yeah, so it did retreat. Okay. So in terms of that, see, Pythium loses some troops, especially a large number of Serpent Cataphracts, which are pretty expensive and take a while to make. Does burn out 34 communicants, so definitely taking attrition on the communicants. But trading out those 34 communicants got a tremendous number of Soul Slays, and the Theurg score 132 kills. So making the die Bakemono very inefficient. Soul Slays through and prevents more Bakemono Sorcerer White Mages. I think Shiniyama might only have one. Alright, and then there's a lot of attacks against Shiniyama, or against Pythium rather. But before we do that, we'll focus on Jotunheim against Shinu. So we've got a little Skelly spam raid here. That should work. Or wait, that was here. And the only other raid not involving Pythium was Farron Mountains. So Jotunheim attacking Shinu again. Just a group of hurlers. And that fails. Okay. And then we have a bunch of attacks against Pythium. So first up, a bunch of archers clearing out some barbarian PD. Although they're not targeting the main body. So a little bit of attrition there on the Bakemono archers. Then Ostrung, we got another attack on Pythium. A little bit of Skelly spam, that should work. In Belfields. Alright, we've got an army against a fair amount of PD, but this shouldn't be any issue. What's in this army? We got the Troll Shaman with the Skull Staff. Was that Death 3? Nature 1? Then maybe some Lightning spam? Yes, Misform. Does end up using, I think, a Shadow Blast there. Alright, in Rotmarsh, got a couple of point buffed cubes. So a lot of counter-attacking here against Pythium. In the first forest, another Skelly spammer. Or no, we saw that one. Alright, Amberfields. Gartha attacking Pythium. Here's that main army again. Alright. And we have a response from Pythium. So the knights are deployed to fight with the Winter Wolves. We got the long line of Emerald Guard. We got the smaller line of Legionnaires. And then, yeah, Mind Blasters. We got this big block of infantry in the back. Now let's see how it goes. Alright, the armies of Pythium are routed. I think they were pretty close to potentially trying to win. Front line for Agartha was too tanky and too killy. This big HP block in the back, I think, kept Agartha in it. And represented a lot more firepower for Pythium to try and overcome. So this is a significant victory against Pythium. I don't think we'd seen Pythium take a major loss since their initial foray into Pyrene. But this, I think this also came at a heavy cost for Agartha as well. Or was this Belfields? No, Amberfields. Alright, so 64 magma kits go down. 27 umbrals as well. And I mean, these are a significant part of the firepower for Agartha. Loses almost all the Winter Wolves. Does lose a Windmaster. For Pythium, the losses are 21 Knights, 133 Emerald Guard. So loses a significant chunk of those troops. Does lose 3 Theurgs. Both Harbingers die and the Arch-Theurg dies. So maybe we can rewatch this and see how some of those troops die. Yeah, so both these Harbingers are kitted as thugs. And then the other thing I want to see is where is the Arch-Theurg? Cassius Spellward? Does he look different? Oh, he's got the little stick. Alright. Is it this guy? Oh, this is the Patriarch. So that's a hero. And then it's this guy over here. Here's the Arch-Theurg. So we want to watch the guy with the green robe. Then this guy, the guy with the staff. And then the 2 Harbingers. Alright, so the Harbingers jump in. So let's see where they end up going. Alright, so they jump back here on the big block of infantry. Now these Shard Guard have these Shard Glaives, which are magic weapons and also apply Curse. Which means once they get their Mist Form popped and once they get Mist Form popped and they have Curse applied, which means they rack up afflictions faster, and their protection isn't super great because it's magic weapons. I think these Harbingers are actually going to die pretty quickly. Yeah. So, thugging with them against Shinyama was potentially one thing, but thugging with them against the Shard Guard, especially with this big attack bless, probably not what you want to be doing. I think having them back here doing maybe just like advance and cast with the same thug gear. Maybe you get a bunch of shockwaves on the front line here would have been good, but that's Monday morning quarterbacking. I don't know where Bartholomeus went. Did he already leave? Yeah, so he left. He's sensible. He caught Battle Fright and he dipped. And then I think I saw that the Arch-Theurg died. How did he end up dying? He gets hit with a Blade Wind, a big roll Blade Wind, and just gets popped. Alright. So some pretty nice kills for Agartha against Pythium here. Does lose, I think, a lot of the core of this army. He still has the Shard Guard. But the Winter Wolves are pretty much dead. The Umbrals are pretty much dead. Released ones are mostly dead. Magma Kids, you know, 3/4 of them aren't killed. And then on the flip side, you know, kills most of the Emerald Guard and most of the Knights. And does pick up, was that 5, 6 mage kills, including 2 Harbingers, which are solid kills. But it does seem a little bit like mutually assured destruction there. All right. And that was Amberfields. Then in Ancirna, got a scout pinging off. In Phrygia, Pale One Commander. I don't anticipate we're going to have any big battles. Brightwoods, we got a little raid. Some diebacks kill some crossbows. Pings a Pythium army. Little shooting doji raid there. In Doven. Ooh, 17 Pale Ones go down and a bunch of Flagellants go down, but they do knock out a pretty big Barb PD dump. And then in Midland, we got another Shinyama raid working, and then another Shinyama raid working. So a lot of good raiding from Shinyama. And yeah, I think that's most of it. Let's go ahead and hop to the main map. So we see Jotunheim starting to reassert themselves in the region. There are some Agartha forces in the area, though, trying to contain their outward expansion. Presumably this group is going to move back onto Kunal. And then this group will gateway in. Agartha has taken the battle in Amberfields. This group, which is mostly retreated troops, is now cut off due to Shinyama's raiding. And so they don't really have an effective way to get home now. Maybe you raid here or raid back into here. I'm not sure. Maybe you raid here and just hope this army moves. That could also happen. We see a troop buildup from Yes and Kark here. Only 1 PD though. And then Agartha moving on Belfields. I think this is nice from Yes, letting Agartha do a lot of the heavy lifting here, and then they're just kind of scaling and seeing maybe who they need to fight. Because I don't think they want a huge Agartha. So if Agartha starts finding success against Pythium, I have some feelings that Yes might move to help Pythium. They just don't want to do it yet. They want to see Pythium maybe cut down to size a little bit. And then, yeah, we've got the Pythium army on Eternal Sentinel Hill. And then they took Lin of Iron here, which is a pretty nice get for Pythium here. Taking this one gives them a base of operations a lot closer to Shinyama. Lets them recruit here. Project a little bit of power in the area, gives them a buffer fortress before Pythium itself. And yeah, and still no major movement from Machake. Did a little bit of raiding last turn, but nothing this turn. Let's go ahead and take a look at graphs. So provinces, Pythium gets counter-raided pretty hard here. Shinyama's up a little bit, Jotunheim's up a little bit, Agartha's up a little bit. For forts, it's still Agartha's lead. Income is still Pythium's lead, but it's a receding lead now. Gem income, yes, sneaks into first just now. Blood income, Jotunheim doing a little bit of hunting maybe. For research, Pythium picking it up a little bit, maybe identifying new tech targets they need to hit. Or maybe they're trying to put together new armies to roll out. Meanwhile, Agartha and Shinyama continuing to accelerate on research. And for Dominion, I guess maybe Agartha's accelerating, but they're keeping it going, I guess is the right way to put it. For Dominion, you've got Pythium still in the lead on army size, a big drop off from Pythium. They took another fight with Agartha. I'm surprised these fights with Agartha, like Agartha's losing pretty big battles, and they're not losing a lot of momentum in terms of the army graph. Although maybe it's a lot of the quality behind their army graph. We'll maybe take a peek there. Shinyama's down, Pythium's down, Chaka increasing pretty quickly now. So what are, oh, they're picking up Shade Beasts and Terracotta Soldiers. So I think Machaka is putting together an army to roll out soon. Let's see, so we've got Agartha armies here, 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 and here. I'm not seeing... I'm still surprised that there's not more of an impact on their army graph from the attrition that they're taking. Because what is this? I think this represents like maybe almost a 5% decline. But losing this much stuff seems like it should generally be more than 5%. So they must have a lot of stuff. They've got another 150 things in the capital. And yeah, I think that's it for this turn. So we've got Agartha and Pythium and Shinyama bloodying themselves senseless. Agartha watching Jotunheim re-expand a little bit, but I wouldn't say they're a super dangerous threat yet. If they retake Kunal, it starts to get worrying. But otherwise, it's not too big of a deal. Then we're waiting to see what Yes and Machaka decide to do, but their relative power to the big three is increasing. The more these big three kind of like bloody themselves, and maybe they'll get windows where they can expand rapidly and take some gains if there's no armies to properly defend an area due to attrition. So we'll see what they end up deciding to do. And I like, yes, getting some forts in, especially for all these unique mages that they've got, like illusionists, sorceresses, golden throne. So they've got a lot of really good opportunities here, especially to increase their magic diversity. But yeah, I think that's it for this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.